Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the first Versus Awards. We're on Septum Sin versus the awards, essentially, this time. As I'm Septum Sin, this is Kotobuki Jake.
Hey.
And this is our time to shine.
Right.
Because we get to present the awards. We did all of this work towards this award show. We did a lot of stuff, captured a lot of things, captured a lot of people, made them talk, and we did a lot going into this award show.
Yes, indeed. And for those of you who have been following along, we decided, enough with those silly Oscars and BAFTAs and Golden Globes and People's Choice Awards and all that kind of stuff. We're going to see what some actual movie fans think were the best films of 2020. Not 2021, 2020.
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Indeed. So 2021 had some amazing films.
That we'll talk about next year.
Yes. And I think we're going to have some fun stuff tonight. We're going to be mentioning some stuff. We've got some musical performances lined up. We got a whole show worth checking out.
Yes.
So let's get started here with our very own Mo, who is going to tell us about the best, what was it?
Best poster design or cover art?
No, I like cover art. But let's take a look at what he says.
Yeah.
Well, Brandon's got me back here doing another announcement for you guys. So we have another category that I submitted for some, consideration, and that is best poster art. A lot of us often forget the times when the poster art or like the cover of the VHS sold you on the entire idea of the movie, like in the video store days of our youth. So nowadays, especially, it's a treat to see good poster art. And I think we got a good lineup of candidates here to win this victory. So let's take a look at them. So first up, we have the Amityville Vibrator. Then we have Clementine, El Agent Topo, a.k.a. the Mole Agent. We have In Search of Darkness Part 2. That was a particularly rad poster. Love and Monsters and The Witches. A little disappointed that none of my selections ended up on here, but, what can you do? So, let's find out which film took the top spot. Drum roll. It was Amityville Vibrator. It couldn't be any poster other than that out of this batch because that poster is fucking awesome. Look at it, I'm sure it's on the screen here somewhere, or it's been on the screen here somewhere in the past. And it's a poster you won't soon forget. So hopefully this is a category that you guys enjoyed, because I think there's lots of cool, options for this in the future. It doesn't even need to be any specific type of movie, just as long as it has poster art that it looked like someone gave a shit about.
Well, that was Mo with a lovely tribute to our posters. I mean, posters are excellent. And take a look at that one over there from Midsummer. I mean, doesn't that grab you?
Oh, that one had some good poster art, definitely.
We're not going to show you, though.
No. But I gotta say, though, that winner, one of the 4 films that we nominated that I still haven't seen.
You got to admit, though, that poster art does grab you.
It does.
It makes you curious, at least. I was like, okay, I got to see this to figure out what the heck it is.
I'm curious, sir.
But that's the point of it, right? But we have something else, don't we?
Yes, our next one is also a category that's new to us. Actually, I want to say Mo may have been, either Mo or this one here, suggested the poster category, which was a good suggestion.
Mo did.
I have been pushing for years for a third tier to the acting category. Best bit player or cameo, or I guess you could properly say best bit performance or cameo in a film, in a movie, whatever. And I will be presenting this one, so enjoy. All right. Our next award is for a fairly fun category that's new. I've thought for a while that there should be a third level to the acting. You know, there's actor, actress, supporting actor, supporting actress. And all too often you end up with people in absolutely the wrong category. Now, we learned from our experiences with this award that sometimes it's really hard to tell what category someone should go in. But even so, we thought it'd be fun to have a third layer. And we call that Best Cameo or Bit Player. Or like this Ginger Dead Man appearance here.
Yes, cameo!
And frequently, cameos are just that. Someone walking on screen to hog all the attention for a few minutes.
That's right, get off. It's my turn.
Sometimes they can be a somewhat more, what's the word I'm looking for? Blink and you miss them. Like someone comes in and the people who know they're there are like, oh, that guy was in, you know. Or sometimes they're a famous actor who just by showing up makes a nice little appearance. And then there's the bit player, which I guess you could say acting in a bit role might be a better way to put it. And that would be someone who has an extended appearance in a film, but they don't really, the screen time does not really add up to a supporting role. You know, it's someone who's in the movie, it's more than a cameo, but they're not really fully on support.
You're finished.
Well, that's my definition. I have finished that.
You gotta read the nominees.
I am.
Alright, my job is done! Best cameo ever!
Good for you, Ginger Dead Man. You may be nominated next year. But we actually have an assortment of cameos that cover a wide range of what I just mentioned. On the one hand, in the film Adverse, you have the very, 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 very brief appearance of Let Movie One and Fluffy Gamer. Slightly larger role, Evan Jacobs in Death Toll at 3 When Duty Calls. A little larger yet, you got Z-Mon, the Kid Detective. And then you had two full-on cameos, Michael Keaton in The Trial of the Chicago 7 and Lloyd Kaufman in The Last Blockbuster. And then you had one of those, it's a supporting role but not quite there, with the late Chadwick Boseman in Da 5 Bloods. So, pretty fun assortment there. And the winner is Michael Keaton, Trial of the Chicago 7.
Well, that was a great cameo by the Ginger Dead Man. I almost forgot who it was that won. I mean, he was so good at what he does.
Well, and we didn't really say in our presentation, but I think you had made the point that's a valid point, that the winner of that category ideally should be someone that makes an impression. Like you watch the movie and afterwards you're like, I love when that one person was in that one scene. You know, those kind of movies, that's the kind of person we were looking at. And even though the award went to Michael Keaton and not to Lloyd Kaufman, let it be said that Kaufman had a lot of support. Yes. Which is really cool because it's for a documentary appearance. And we did not say what the films were. I did not say the films for most of them. No, I did.
You did. You did.
What am I thinking?
You just filmed it a minute ago.
I know. See, but it feels longer.
You know, some people actually do a really good job with their camera work. I wish that we were in that group.
That's what. No.
But this is an award that definitely strikes that up. Let's take a look with Dane as he brings us a little deeper into the camera work.
I'm here to present the award for Best Cinematography. Film is a visual art, and what goes in front of the camera is what tells the story. The great artists who have manned the camera, they have brought forth some of the most moving experiences in the history of the moving image, and these particular cinematographers helped elevate their film into greatness. The nominees are Between Shadow and Soul, Clementine, Mank, My Octopus Teacher, Palindrome, Violet. And the award goes to My Octopus Teacher.
All right. Now, those were some much prettier films than the one we got going on here, I admit. But, they're...
Oh, yeah, they do a great job. They got good lighting, good angles, a little bit of black and white here and there. Well, of course, Moga does some black and white with his. Maybe he should have done Best Cinematography. But, it's all about that lighting and the way it works. I mean, we use our own lighting here at Septum Sen versus the World. We have our nice couch that we sit on occasion. We watch our movies and just enjoy. Movies like Jester here from John Johnson. They're low-budget films. Maybe we could watch this while you watch that.
Hey guys, it's me, Rappaport here. You all know me from Movie Buff 1 on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Movie Buff 1. I'm here to present the Best Low Budget Film Award. And to me, I want to talk about how what low budget films mean to me. Low budget films are a deep impact on me because I feel like they're more creative than the big budget films and the higher budget Hollywood production films because they're more creative and they're not as seen as well. They're not like they don't get out there. No one knows as much about low budget films as like they don't get as much appreciation as they should, and they don't get to like the much more. They don't get attention like as much as they should, But and I also act in low budget films too, and indie horror films and all that. And it's just sad because they should get the attention that they don't get the attention span that they should. But without further ado, let's get to the nominees and to the best low budget film. Let's get to the nominees are Clementine, Cool Summer, The Curve, Psycho Ape, Sebastian's Unholy Flesh, and Vampire Dad. And the winner for Best Low Budget Film is... Dun, 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 Clementine! Give a round of applause for Clementine! Yay! What a great movie!
Well, that was Kyle. He's been Rappaport. He's been in a lot of lower budget films lately, and you should check him out. One of my favorites of his is the God darn it, Closing Time. That was the word. Closing Time, which is a very great film. Unfortunately, not one that's easy to get these days. But if you can find a copy, it's really good. There's House of Rathidicus, The Shackled Demon Project. Let's see.
Well, he was in one of our nominees, right? The Return to Splatter Farm?
Yes, and he did a cameo in that one. He almost got a cameo nomination. He was very close on that. So that's also a fun one there. So he knows what it is to be in these types of movies. They are really the mortar that holds us together. So where do we want to go next? So many awards.
There are so many, yes.
We can find them. So
I think we're going to look at one of our new categories, one that has been talked about for years. The Academy keeps dragging their feet, but one of these days they will have to have an award for the stunt people who do the hard work in action films. And so we're gonna have a best stunt work presentation.
One of these days.
Yes.
All right, so our next category is best stunt work. I personally nominated this category for consideration because I think a lot of times, so much attention's paid to other parts of movies that we forget the people that are actually going through the wear and tear of making the damn thing, and that's the stunt folk. So our nominations this year were Birds of Prey and The Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. Overly long title, but we'll allow it. We also got Bloodshot. We got Fei Ling Guanggang, Enter the Fat Dragon. We got The Gentleman, Monster Hunter, and Tenet, which I've not actually seen myself. I assure you, I trust you that it's good, though. So, our winner is, drumroll, Birds of Prey, which is no surprise because, there was some solid stuff. Well, my name is Mosley, and I run a channel called Drunkin Master Studios. If you guys remember those sweet, sweet, succulent video store days of your youth, and you want to come over and relive some of those memories, especially when it comes to Full Moon Features and all the cool movies that they did back then, Puppet Master, Subspecies, Trancers, etc. We've not actually reviewed any of those yet, but they are coming. We have a vast library of reviews for you guys to check out where that's concerned, as well as other B-movies, exploitation flicks, splatter films, etc., and some gaming content. So if you're a fan of stuff that came out in the past and you're looking for a no-nonsense YouTube channel that will deliver that stuff to you in usually a timely fashion with, a lot of delays, but it's worth waiting for, I like to think. So come on over and check us out. Drunkin Master Studios on YouTube, and you can also find me via the Full Moon Madness, Facebook page. So, cheers. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this awards show. These guys put a lot of work into it, so definitely tune back in next year, because I'm sure it's only going to get better.
All right. So as Mo pointed out, stunts are a pretty big part of the film, and we had some solid contenders, I think. All of those were. And one cool little thing to mention about Birds of Prey, that from what I understand, Margot Robbie learned a roller derby just for one brief scene, basically, and that's no mean feat. So there was some intense stunt work there, and they brought in the director of John Wick to help make the fight scenes better. So that probably falls into that category. So along those lines, another category that often is really big, is part and parcel of those big action movies, is the visual effects. Now, of course, that's not the only thing that visual effects are used for, but
and we're gonna have our very own Forrest to help us with this particular one.
Very good.
Check it out.
Hey everyone, this is Forrest. I'm presenting the Visual Award for Best Visual Effects. To me, visual effects are all about bringing the impossible to life, to make the unimaginable imaginable. Whether it's bringing four anthropomorphic talking anthropomorphic turtles to life, or destroying the Death Star, or creating inventive deaths in the creating gory violent deaths in the Friday the 13th franchise, or even a fantasy fictional city like Gotham to life. Visual effects should visual effects elevate the storytelling. And here are the Versus Award nominees for Best Visual Effects: Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, Bloodshot, Love and Monsters, The New Mutants, Tenet, Wonder Woman 1984. And the winner is The New Mutants.
Well, that was a brilliant go into visual effects. I myself know that we are masters of visual effects here on Septum Sen versus the World.
Indeed.
I mean, lighting, nah. Camera work, nah. Visual effects, okay, you got me. We're not that good at that either.
It stinks.
But
the makers of the New Mutants were, and it was nice to see some love for that one.
you know, and of course, we could see some making ofs of the New Mutants, or making of Septum Sen versus the World. Maybe that'll be the next documentary feature for 2021's awards.
Right.
Or maybe it's one of these. Let's check it out.
The next category that I have to tell you about is the documentary feature section. And documentaries are normally feature-long films that are normally non-fiction. And oftentimes, they talk about reality. But let me tell you about the nominees. We have Grip Camp, A Disability Revolution. El Agente Topo, otherwise known as the Mole Agent. In Search of Darkness Part 2. The Last Blockbuster. My Octopus Teacher. Welcome to Chechnya. And the winner is In Search of Darkness Part 2. Congratulations. You've made the cut. And the final category that I have to tell you about is the best documentary short film subject. Or short subject. And the nominees are A Love Song for Latasha, Call Center Blues, Do Not Split, E.T.'s Among Us 4, The Reality of E.T., Human Hybrids, Hysterical Girl, and The Speed Cubers. And the winner is The Speed Cubers. Congratulations, you have made the cut. Thank you for listening to me. Hopefully you were happy with the final decisions of the judges. My name is David Straggy. I am one of the founding fathers of Inside Movies Galore, where we go on and talk about films of all kinds and all natures, and we discuss them. But I also moonlight under a different channel called Delusions of Grandeur, where I go on about my own video pickups, my own thoughts and views, and I tell you all about what I think about each of the movies that I watch when I get the time to. So, like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of my thoughts. And hopefully I'll see you in the next week or so, commenting or something like that. I just enjoy talking about films of all kinds. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the ceremony.
Oh, that was amazing. A good documentary is a good movie. And
Although, unfortunately, we've already hit 2 that I haven't seen yet because I still haven't seen In Search of Darkness Part 2.
that's a long one.
I know.
But
4 friggin' hours.
It's a trap!
I will say that it is amazing. We've already accomplished some amazing things with these awards. The fact that we have documentaries featured in categories that they would never have been featured before in other award ceremonies.
Or very rarely.
And we're already breaking new ground. This just shows you the power of the people versus the power of the not-so-people.
Okay, yes indeed.
But, let's go to that lovely makeup and hairstyling awards, because we love
I think we ought to do editing next.
editing.
Yeah. I mean, we were just talking about a 4-hour documentary that's part of a 12-hour series. I think it's a good time to talk about editing.
All right, editing it is. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
Right.
And now presenting the award for Best Editing. All of the various elements of film, the acting, the cinematography, the costume designs, all have to be funneled through the editor. The editor is ultimately the person that comprises all the disparate elements of film into the finished product, into the great art piece that takes the audience on the emotional journey that the artist intended. These particular editors helped elevate their films into greatness as well. The nominees are Clementine, Dick Johnson is Dead, The Father, The Hunt, Sound of Metal, The Turning, and the award goes to The Hunt.
Well, that was editing. Like we edited this together. I should say I edited this together in a sloppy fashion. But if you have any complaints, complain to him. Take the pitchforks. Take the axes. Take everything else. Come to his house. Dinner's on him.
Hello, my friends! Hey! Yeah! Eddie, you're in too! Pour yourself a drink!
Well, thanks.
Now can we do makeup and hairstyling?
If you must.
All right. Makeup and hairstyling. Very important. A lot of hair on this cat. A lot of hair on those people. Not so much on my head, but we're going to move forward.
Okay, and here we've got the Versus Award for Best Makeup and Hairstyling. Makeup and hairstyling. It can easily lead to some of the most iconic. Makeup and hairstyling has led to some of the most iconic iconic looks for actors in film, whether it's Arnold Schwarzenegger with his exposed endoskeleton in Terminator 2, or any Terminator movie, or Jeff Goldblum in The Fly, or even someone like Divine in John Waters movies. Makeup and hair. Or Cameron Diaz in There's Something About Mary. Makeup and hair is one of those. It can be a make or break for a movie, and to make it memorable for the ages. And here are the nominees for Best Makeup and Hairstyling: Bad Boys for Life, Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, Clementine, Emma, Eurovision Song Contest, The Story of Fire Saga, The Man Who Sold His Skin. And the winner is Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
Well, that is amazing. I never really thought about that, like that eye thing, but that is makeup.
Right.
I think a lot of people, when they think of makeup and hairstyling, especially with the Oscars, they're thinking of films like Emma. They're thinking of films like basic hairstyling more than the makeup, or basic makeup, but not monster makeup.
And we certainly joke about the fact that Bad Boys for Life got up for makeup and hair, because Lord knows those two didn't have a whole lot of hair up here.
Hey! Shut up!
But when you get into action films,
Oh, yeah.
getting all the cuts, the scrapes, the bruises, the continuity between scenes, one of the reasons Birds of Prey ended up winning was that. One of the other reasons is the fact, just look at Harley's alabaster skin, managing to maintain that pale a skin, and then do all that stuff on top of it.
Oh, yeah.
That takes some pretty solid makeup work.
So before we get into our first acting categories, I went out of pocket, pulled out a moth or two that came out, and I handed them over to a man that bears no introduction, one of the greatest shower and car seat singers of our time, to do renditions of our Best Original Song nominee.
Oh, dear.
Hey! Well, welcome out there, you loyal viewers and listeners, as I, the #1 bathtub and car singer extraordinaire, that you are in on some lovely covers. So we're going to talk about movies today, and the first of which is that theme from Splatterthon. Return to... What was that? One, two. Return to... Something's off here. Return to... Okay, who's doing that? It is I, YouTube! YouTube? You know, I always pictured YouTube to be a little bit less, well, maybe a little bit more. I am what I am. I am the great and powerful YouTube. So, what's allowed with this copyright thing? I mean, I'm just doing some covers here. Covers. Nothing shall be allowed, because YouTube says anything that indicates anything not yours is mine! Mine! All mine! Screw you, YouTube. I'm gonna do it anyway. And I'm gonna do that song from Maiden Abyss. Ha ha! Up yours. Don't you do that! That is a big no-no! The Japanese are very protective of their copyright. If you do that, I will have to use extreme measures! I don't believe you. 1, 2, hand up!
Oh, well.
That was an interesting little production there, wasn't it?
You think he'll be okay?
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be fine. He probably hid behind the wall of chainsaws.
Probably just a scratch. He'll be fine, folks. You know, like a little Neosporin, I think it'll all be good.
Just a flesh wound.
It's just a flesh wound.
But with that being said, we are going to jump into some of those acting awards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've got the unsung heroines of acting. which I believe are the actresses of sorts. And we're starting with what? Supporting actress?
Right. Traditionally, the Oscars play supporting actor very early in the program and follow it with actress. We're going to be different. We're going to start with actress.
So there, it makes us better already.
Aha!
I'm here to present the award for Best Supporting Actress. Behind every lead, there are many, many supporting players, who are often the unsung heroes of a particular production. Supporting actresses have a lot of weight on their shoulders, more so than most people necessarily realize, but these ladies helped elevate their movies into greatness. The nominees are Glenn Close, Hillbilly Elegy; Charlene Swanky, Nomadland; Olivia Colman, The Father; Olivia Cook, Sound of Metal; Talia Ryder, Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always; Yoo Jun-yoon, Minari. And the award goes to Charlene Swanky, Nomadland.
Well, that was pretty good there. I mean, I think Nomadland, though overrated by many, I did really think it was great when they had people who really lived the life involved in the film. And Swanky's performance was very touching, especially towards the end when you found out what you find out. I'm not going to ruin it for you. You need to see it. But it does make the movie worth checking out, at least.
Although I was a little surprised she got the level of support she did with our particular academy. It was pretty cool.
But that just shows you that people are more down to earth in our viewer base.
Right. So, and next up, we're going to go ahead and jump right on over to supporting actor to get a look at some other valuable second in command players.
And we got a new actual presenter coming up.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, let's take a look at it.
Hey guys, I'm Randy Unger, Under the Radar, and I'm very proud and privileged and honored today to present two award categories. First of which is Best Supporting Actor. First off, what makes a good supporting actor? Basically, a performer who basically holds up most of the production. They breathe life into the production and really support the leads. And in some ways, a supporting actor is just as important as the lead actor. They're all actors, they're all doing the same job, and they're all supporting each other. It's a team effort. And I just want to go down the list of this year's Best Supporting Actor nominees. We have Delroy Lindo of The Five Bloods. We have Ibrahima Gouye of La Vita Devante Ace, The Life Ahead. Next up is Jim Carrey in Sonic the Hedgehog. Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami. Paul Raci for Sound of Metal. And Peter Dinklage in I Care a Lot. And the award goes to... Very exciting. Jim Carrey, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Huh.
All right. Jim Carrey for Sonic the Hedgehog. Who'd have thunk it?
Who knows where thoughts come from? They just appear.
And you know, I think that they did some pretty good acoustics with that. I could hear him pretty well. I think we come across okay. One thing at least I can say that we don't do too badly on Septum Sen versus the World is the sound quality. Usually you can hear what we're saying. It's not too like that, you know. It's actually pretty easy to hear what we're trying to tell you.
Right.
I don't have facts to back this up.
Although, unfortunately, as our video from a few minutes ago made very clear, music is another matter entirely.
Indeed.
We would love to be contenders for the best use of music in film, but we are not important enough to get away with using music in our videos.
Unfortunately, but we do have one heck of an opening theme.
Yes, indeed. By this gentleman right here, in fact.
Yes, let's welcome our prisoner.
Hello, this is Dan from the Rebel Gaming Club, and I'm here for the best sound. And what does that mean to me? Well, it's what it means, sound. It can make or break a movie. If you can't hear something correct, movie's off. It's not happening. No one wants to watch it, but if the sound's great, you have a leg up. So, nominees are Bloodshot, Clementine, News of the World, Palindrome, Soul, Sound of Metal. And the winner is Sound of Metal. This is Dan from Rebel Gaming Club, and I'm here to give the award for Best Original Score. We all know a score is very important. Think of a movie like Napoleon Dynamite. Think about it. You can hear it in your head. The little organ, Casio. So we have some scores. The nominees in this category are Billy Yupp for Palindrome, Branford Marsalis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Bruno Coulier, Wolfwalkers, Katie Jarbowski, Clementine. I can read a little bit. Lin-Manuel Miranda for Hamilton. And Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, John Baptiste for Soul. And the winner is Soul! This is Dan from the Rebel Gaming Club again. And this category is Best Use of Music in Film. When I think about this, I think of the great Wes Anderson with a movie like Rushmore. So many great tracks. You got the Kinks. You got this French music I'd never heard of. It was inspiring. It's beautiful. It's still wonderful. So this category, we have some films. The nominees are Crip Camp, A Disability Revolution, Eurovision Song Contest, The Story of Fire Saga, In Search of Darkness, Part 2, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, One Night in Miami, and last, Soul. And the winner is Soul! This is Dan from Rumble Gaming Club one last time. And the category is Best Original Song. So we think of Best Original Song, we think of Kenny Loggins, we think of Top Gun. But the nominees tonight are Carried Me With You by Brandy Carlisle, Phil Hanseroth, and Tim Hanseroth for Onward. We have Forever Lost by Kevin Pennick for the movie Made in Abyss. We have Hear My Voice, Daniel Pemberton and Celeste Waite, The Trial of the Chicago 7. Return of Splatter Farm Theme by James Kelly and Greg Behan, Return to Splatter Farm. Speak Now by Leslie Odom Jr. and Sam Ashworth for One Night in Miami. Turntables, Janelle Monáe, Nate Rocket Wonder, and George A. Peters II, All in the Fight of Democracy. And the winner is Carried Me With You, Onward. I'm Dan. I'm from the Rebel Gaming Club. I play in a band called the River City Rebels. I like to make art. I like punk rock. I like to make people laugh. I like to have a good time. I like to collect stuff. That's all I really got. I like movies too. But unfortunately, I haven't had time with work, so I haven't seen a lot of these movies. But now I have a lot of movies to see because it's an award show. So I found out about movies I didn't know about. Hopefully you guys did too.
All that music.
Oh yeah. Well, we had our Academy's resident musician walk us through all the sound ones, and I am so glad Sound of Metal got that. That's like the movie that's category was for that movie.
And you know what's funny? I ended up getting Far Cry 5 just because there was a River City Rebels song on it.
And that's good because that's how you establish a cult.
Which Dan was the lead singer then. Mm-hmm. So it's just really kind of cool that something like this. Shoot, we could very well hear a River City Rebels song as a as a best song in there. Wouldn't be original song at that point, but you know what I mean.
And of course, I've been pushing for years for use of music in film. That should be a thing. And Dan, I fully agree with you. Wes Anderson is one of the reasons why that category needs to exist.
Woody Allen as well, I swear.
The brothers Coen, Martin Scorsese, Quentin Tarantino. There are people who know how to put a good jam in just the right spot.
And talking about good people in a jam, let's talk about the rest of those short films, because we still got an animated and a live-action short film to go. So let's take a look at Dave for his final approach with that.
All right.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Versus Awards nominees award ceremony. I am here to tell you a couple of nominee subjects and their matter. And the first thing on hand, the first selection on hand is from the categories of the live-action short subject, the best film from this category. And the nominees are 2020, a 1917 parody, Feeling Through, The Letter Room, The Present, Two Distant Strangers, and White Eye. And the winner is 2020, a 1917 parody. Congratulations. So the next category that I have to talk to you about is the best film from the animated short subject. Now, short films are often college projects or possible possibilities to turn into larger movies. But this is the animated short subject, and these are the nominees. We have Burrow, Genius Loki, If Anything Happens, I Love You, Ya Folkyo, otherwise known as Yes People, Opera, and Out. And the winner is Burrow. Congratulations, Burrow.
Well.
Okay.
And of course, not all of them are school projects.
No.
But there are a large number of them that are.
I mean, our winner for animation was a Pixar project,
Yeah.
but you know, there were some phenomenal ones that and a couple not so much, but that we nominated. But neither of my favorites got it, but the ones that did were solid films, definitely.
Oh yeah, and I gotta say, only with our awards would something like 2020 get a actual award. Shoot, a nomination even.
That was such a fun little film.
Really
though.
was.
It was a good, which is a very rare thing you'll hear about anything titled 2020.
Yes. Yeah, I think it was probably one of the best things to come out of 2020, really, if you think about it.
So, as a follow-up to our animated short feature, one category that the Academy does have that I would objected to us jettisoning, but we did, was animated feature. But we had something that covers a lot of similar ground. It's not the same, but it's similar. And that is our category for best animation in a film. So this is less about just saying, well, this film is animated, so we'll talk about this independently of live action. This is actually about the process of animation. And we will, I believe we have Roger to present this one for us.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Hey, let us see how Roger did.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Roger, and I represent Animazing Collections and Company. And what I'm doing today is to present the best animation and film category. What animation means to me is fluidity, artistic flavor, and overall film impact. The best of these things mixed together means the best animation you can get in a film to me. Now, to go on with the categories with best animation in film is The Croods, A New Age, Made in the Abyss, Dawn of the Deep Soul, A Whisker Away, Onward, Soul, and Wolf Walkers. And the winner is, in the best animation and film category, is Soul. Congratulations.
Well, I should have expected that Soul would win that category.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it was going to. I guess Soul kind of owns the animated category.
Well, Soul is an incredible film.
It really was.
And it did very well with our Academy. Certainly a little better than it did at the main Academy, which... just wait till we get to our best pictures and you can see that we do not share their prejudice against animated films.
That is true.
And now for something completely different.
But at any rate, one other thing that the Academy really could use, they could use an animation and film category. They could also use a category for vocal acting. There has been talk about this every now and then. Usually not based on animated films. There have been things like when Scarlett Johansson was in Her, there was a lot of, well, how do we give her an award? There isn't one for vocal acting. And then, of course, you've got people like Bradley Cooper and Vin Diesel in the Avengers movies. You get some really solid vocal acting in live action, but you also get some really solid vocal acting in animation. And so our next category is all about that.
Indeed, indeed.
Well, hello there. I'm the Ginger Dead Man. And I am all dressed up. I'm always dressed up. That's just how they made me. Been baked with some nice fondant. Well, I'm going to talk to you about voice acting. I don't know why they want me to do something about voice acting. It's not like someone's voicing me or anything. In any case, a good voice actor brings the part to life. To the point where, well, you won't even believe that there's someone behind it. Or to the side. Well, so let's start with Best Voice Actor. And the nominees are Ben Schwartz for Sonic the Hedgehog, Jamie Foxx for Soul, Peter Dinklage for The Croods: A New Age, Sean Bean for Wolfwalkers, Simon McBurney for Wolfwalkers, and Tom Holland for Onward. Wasn't he Spider-Man? I don't know. And the winner is... Alright. The winner is Jamie Foxx for Soul. Like I could use a soul. Any case, no time to move on. Let's go to the best voice actress. Same stuff, different day. Differently baked. So the nominees are Emma Stone for The Croods, A New Age. Eva Whittaker for Wolfwalkers. Honor Nisi for Wolfwalkers. Hey, off the stage. Off the stage. Off. That's right. Run away. I'll get you later. Julia Louise-Dreyfus for Onward. Miyu Tomita for Made in Abyss. Fukaki Tamashi no Reime, Made in Abyss, Dawn of Deep Soul. Look, we can have some time later. I tell you, groupies, man, groupies. And finally, Tina Fey in Soul. Kitties, man, kitties. And the winner is Tina Fey in Soul! Yes, let's celebrate, kitty. Let's celebrate. All right, we're going to see the rest of you later.
Well, Soul takes it away again. But that's all right, because that's kind of cool. I think that we had some very good voice acting. Jamie Foxx did a great job in that part.
Oh, yeah.
And Tina Fey was a good foil for him.
Yes.
But we
I was
get
a little
started.
disappointed that Peter Dinklage didn't get it, but you know.
Yeah, we had some good ones. Sadly, Wolfwalkers had some good voice acting,
Oh, yeah.
too.
I mean, the two girls were girls.
Oh, they were, yeah.
And they
very
did
impressive.
a very good job, yeah.
But let's go ahead and we're going to get started into our final countdown. So we're going to each talk a little bit about
This is a
movie.
That would get us a YouTube ding.
Yes, we can't really do that. So I don't want to risk having it happen to our singer there.
No.
So let's start off. I'm going to start us off. One of the first nominees that we have here is The Five Bloods, which is a Spike Lee, right?
A Spike Lee joint, yep.
Yes. And this is about these individuals who have been in the Vietnam War and they're coming back in search of buried treasure that they buried. You also have the late Chadwick Boseman in a supporting role there. Amazing acting. Matter of fact, I think was that our best actor one? No, was it our best actor winner?
No, Delroy Lindo was up for.
No, but he was up for it.
He was up for supporting actor.
Yes, up for supporting actor. Yep. Amazing job there. Amazing acting, great writing. Probably one of Spike Lee's better films to date. He's been really knocking them out of the park lately. BlacKkKlansman, this, very good stuff. And if you haven't seen it, you probably should.
And of course, it was only up for a single Oscar for the music, which was by Terrence Blanchard, and was excellent. If I remember correctly, I believe Mr. Lee has still, to this day, only gotten 5 Oscar nominations, and I think, if I remember, every single one is in a different category. Which is kind of interesting.
He's going to collect them all.
Yeah, exactly, yes. All right, and our other one for our first round of Best Picture nominees, we have 12. I don't know if you mentioned that. We have a 6-pack for each of the categories. Which actually, in case you haven't picked up on that, I believe our friend Mo was the one who said, let's do a 6-pack, and then we could do the 12-pack for the... And we like that idea. That's a good idea.
Truly, you have a dizzying intellect.
Wait till I get going! Where was I?
And so our second one for Best Picture is Florian Zeller's The Father, the Anthony Hopkins vehicle about a man who is dealing with fairly advanced dementia but doesn't want to admit it. and he is dealing with his daughter, who's played by Olivia Colman, is also dealing with all this stuff that's going on, and it is a fascinating film. One of the best edited films I think I've ever seen. And based on a stage play, but does a really good job of seeming like a movie and not a play.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And it is worth noting, one of Anthony Hopkins' best roles. And the one that won the Oscar this year.
Indeed.
Yes.
To the chagrin of some people.
Yes.
But we have some more awards to give.
Mm-hmm.
So don't count on that Best Picture award just yet.
Right. Next up, we're going to be talking about Best Production Design, or I believe Forrest is, to be more accurate.
Forrest Production Design.
Yes.
All right. Our next category is the Versus Award for Production Design. Production design production designers bring about the look, the aesthetic of the film, creating that environment that the characters inhabit, whether it's or trying to make or convey a certain atmosphere, whether it's the gritty streets of 1970s New York or outer space. Production design is it brings you that gives you that feeling of it puts the audience in the world of the story. And here are the nominees for Best Production Design. Dick Johnson is Dead. Made in Abyss, Fukaki Tamashi no Reimi. Or Made in Abyss, Dawn of the Deep Soul. Mank, The Trial of the Chicago 7. The Turning. Wonder Woman 1984. And the winner is Wonder Woman 1984.
Well, congratulations, Wonder Woman 1984.
Mm-hmm.
That was quite a lot of production. I mean,
they did capture the 80s quite well.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
And they had some amazing stuff. I mean, you gotta look, like some of those scenes, they had lots of people there.
Mm-hmm.
They had lots of stuff running, especially towards the end where they had them all kind of wishing or taking their wishes back.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it is something to behold. I think it is a beautiful movie to look at.
Mm-hmm.
So it's maybe a little bit disappointing, but still not a bad superhero film.
Right. And I still think, though, that probably in the future awards, we may have to consider doing different versions of that award, because I've maintained for a long time that as it currently exists, the award really runs the risk of being swallowed up by animated films, because some of them are just the production design, the art design is just incredible, and things like Made in Abyss, and maybe in the future we might have to separate animated and live action. We'll have to think about that. But along those lines,
we have two more.
Yes,
and of course,
speaking of,
we have one. Actually, we have one record here. Is I don't think the Oscars ever had a documentary be up for Best Picture, have they?
I wouldn't swear to it that they have not, but I can't think when they have.
Well, I'll tell you what, we do.
Aha!
And that's The Last Blockbuster.
Take that, Oscar.
So, this one is a rather cool picture that talks about the last blockbuster out there, about Blockbuster Video's rise and fall in the industry, gobbling up the ma video stores, and then being gobbled up itself by progress.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, a wonderful cameo by Lloyd Kaufman, who, by the way, was interviewed for Delusions of Grandeur.
Oh.
Great interview that they did last week, so you should check that out as well.
Wish I could have sat in on
that. But of course, we have that wonderful piece. Tell us about our other one.
All right. And speaking of our next, another milestone relative to the Oscars.
Yes.
I guarantee you an anime has not been nominated for Best Picture. In fact, they still have only had 3 animated films nominated.
And we have 4 in this category.
Yes. We have outdone their entire 100-year career, 90-year career in one 12-pack.
I love it when a plan comes together.
But anyway, our next nominee is Made in Abyss, Hukaki Tamashi no Reme, or Made in Abyss, Dawn of the Deep Soul. And as I was commenting at the start of this intro, the production design in this film is, oh my god, this is such a stunning film series. The series is absolutely stunning on a production design basis. Like the world that they created for this film is just phenomenal. And it has lovely music and it's a good, solid story. This is the 3rd part in what could be seen as a trilogy, but they've already announced a 4th film. Essentially, it's also the first 2 films essentially repackaged the first series, and this is a sequel. But they've also got another series coming out that I guess will cover much of this film. So it's kind of confusing how all that's going to shake out. But if you look at the films by themselves, which so far is all I have to go on, they're pretty darn good as a standalone film series. And this one is kind of the pivotal piece of the 3. And our group sure enjoyed it. So
Well, yeah, and don't even hum the theme.
No.
You get your house blown up.
We wouldn't do that.
But we do have some amazing costumes coming up next.
Indeed. And something you won't see very much in an animated feature. But, definitely there has been some great costume design this year. And Forrest is going to walk us through it.
Indeed.
Everyone, it's Forrest with the Versus Award for Best Costume Design. Costumes define how we look at the characters on film, from Batman to the animatronics of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Costumes. There's so much effort, and there's so much work that goes into both designing them and putting them together, and then getting the actors into costume can be a job, a huge job in of itself. So here and right now we're honoring best costume design, and here are the nominees: The Craft, Legacy, Emma, Hawk and Rev, Vampire Slayers, News of the World, The Trial of the Chicago 7, Wonder Woman 1984, and the winner is Wonder Woman 1984. I'm Forrest Bennett, an independent film producer based in Long Island, New York. I've produced produced feature films such as Camp Murder and Bloody Summer Camp, and the web series Toxic America. Also a movie and comic book enthusiast. I also am on a vlogcast called Script Club, on a channel called Evil Greg, where I do dramatic table readings of unproduced scripts. I've always got something going on, and right now it's an honor to be presenting at the very first Versus Awards.
Wonder Woman takes another win.
Yeah, I admit I was deeply disappointed by Wonder Woman 84.
Get used to disappointment.
But I'll give it another go. It was still a fun movie.
That's some cool costumes.
And the costumes were quite solid, yes. Again, very 80s in all the right ways.
That's good. It's supposed to be. If it looked 90s, it wouldn't be 1984.
Exactly, yes.
But we have two more fun films up.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is an Oscar bait film to win all Oscar bait films, moves them behind, because it's a film about the writing of an Oscar bait film. Mank. Wonderful cinematography, very good writing, pretty amazing acting. All about the writing of Citizen Kane. Another kind of pretentious film, but still quite well done. I think this movie had Oscar written on it from day one.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't get the love it wanted to get from the Oscars, but who knows? Maybe tonight it'll win that
It
Best
got
Picture.
10. Well, it was clearly the leader going in with 10 nominations.
Yes.
And I think it ended up winning, what, 1 award?
I
2,
can't remember.
maybe? And we gave it a lot less love than that, but we still gave it some love. And I still find it hilarious that one of the only Oscars it was not up for was the Oscar that Citizen Kane won, which was the Screenplay Award. I do think that's hilarious. Now, next up, we continue onward with our trouncing of the Academy's prejudice against animated features with the Pixar film Onward, which is set in a fantasy world, much like our own, but, you know, with trolls and dragons and unicorns and manticores and all the...
And not the internet ones.
Well, right, exactly. Well, I'm sure there were internet trolls on there, too. I mean, they're everywhere, you know, at least on the internet. And it's essentially about two brothers who their father is no longer around. He passed when they were very young. When one of them was but a stripling and very young and barely remembers them. And of course, his older brother has the young child memories that are, you know, they are gifted a wand that theoretically will bring him back for a day. But things don't go as planned.
Not quite.
And they get his legs back. And in order to complete the spell and bring their father back for some good father-son bonding time, the two brothers who barely get along go on a road trip together, as you do. And it is a really fun movie. It underrated, really was.
Yeah,
I think this is one of the rare years where Pixar put out two original properties. And unlike Inside Out and The Good Dinosaur, there was a modest imbalance in quality. Modest. Onward was not quite nearly the level of Soul, but it's about on the level of Brave, which still makes it a pretty darn good Pixar film.
In a good way.
And it had some wonderful music, wonderful voice acting. It was very creative. Again, great production design in that one. Good, solid film. Yeah.
Indeed. And now we're going to go up for some writing awards.
Yes.
With adapted and original screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
This next award is for Best Original Screenplay. And when I think of Best Original Screenplay, I think of something that, at least a screenplay, that is emanated solely from a writer or writers, that is, you know, original to them. And that to me, you know, it hasn't been derived from any other source or book or movie. It is of its own living and breathing volition. So the nominees for Best Original Screenplay are Aaron Sorkin, Trial of the Chicago 7, Andy Sierra, Palm Springs, Calder Ben Hania for The Man Who Sold His Skin, Pete Docter, Make Jones, and Kemp Powers for Soul, and Ryan Barton Grimley for Hawk and Rev, Vampire Slayers. And the award for Best Original Screenplay goes to Pete Docter, Make Jones, and Kemp Powers for Soul. And the next award that we are doing is Best Adapted Screenplay. And when I think of an adapted screenplay, I think of something that maybe did not originally emanate as a screenplay. It could have been a short story, could have been a novel, could have been a movie that inspired another script. That, to me, is what an adapted screenplay means or is. So the nominees for Best Adapted Screenplay are Haruyuki Kurata, Kyle Jones, and Jake Young for Made in Abyss, Fukaki Tamashi no Rime. And that translates to Made in Abyss, Dawn of the Deep Soul. Next up, Chloe Zhao for Nomadland, Christopher Hampton and Florian Zeller for The Father, Evan Jacobs for Cool Summer, Ruben Santiago Hudson for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and Vanessa Taylor for Hillbilly Elegy. And the award for Best Adapted Screenplay goes to Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. Well, first off, thank you so much to the Versus Awards for honoring me with Best Director. Very, very kind. Some projects I have coming up. We're a few weeks away from releasing Death Toilet 4, Brown Snakes on a Plane. After that, we're going to be doing Fleas 2. We also have a documentary about an old punk band called Farside that shows them recording in 1997. I actually found footage that I shot of them. It chronicles their first day in the studio. And I have another movie coming out, or that I'm going to be editing after that, called The Cojones Virus. And then beyond that, there's another movie called Haymaker, which is sort of a Tony Scott-esque. If you like the movie The Fan, my goal is to sort of give it that look and feel. And that film is about a boxing promoter who gets a call right before the show that there's a bomb in the building. But the problem is he can't cancel the show. So, because if he cancels it, then they're definitely going to blow up the building. So there's other projects. That's what's coming out soon. Again, honored to be a part of the Versus Awards. And thank you to everyone who tunes in. And also, if you're interested in more of my work, please just head on over to Vimeo. And please subscribe to Anhedenia Films Unlimited. It's $2 a month. There's 30 plus films there, more coming all the time. And any support, any interest, any reviews, anything, it's always appreciated.
Well, that was pretty good. We had actually a film creator, Evan Jacobs, and a nominee, multiple nominee this year, doing our presentation, which is pretty good. We had some amazing winners for the adapted and original screenplay. Again, the Chloe Zhao, of course, was going to win. Though with these awards, you can't be guaranteed.
No, you definitely can't. And Soul winning for original, really, it was not the most out there choices we could have had. And we did have we had to do a Department of Corrections, I believe. Apologies to Emerald Fennell for her getting passed over on the reading of the nominees, but we did have some really solid screenplays this year. And
let's talk about one of those for our Best Picture. The film Psycho Ape, which has got to be a first somewhere for this to get Best Picture as a nominee. But Psycho Ape is this film about this psycho ape that goes around and kills people with bananas and falls in love, and it becomes a love story as this unique couple fights destiny with bananas and love. Truly one of the better low-budget films of the year. They're not the winner.
It was quite entertaining.
It did have almost got a costume design nod, but not quite there. Still a fun film nevertheless. It is funny, but it is still fun actually in a way to see this get a Best Picture nod. It was probably one of the more enjoyable pictures of the year, if anything.
Well, and of course, how can I follow that up but with Soul?
God, winner for like a shit ton of awards so far. I mean, really.
Yes, and we haven't really talked much about Soul yet. Soul, of course, is the other Pixar film of the year, but it was really the primary one, the one that everyone was talking about. It is arguably their most adult film to date. They do really good job of making films they hit at all levels, but they're still usually intended for a family audience. And I would say Soul is family safe, but it's intended at an older audience than most of theirs are.
Oh, yeah.
And it does deal quite a bit with afterlife and that sort of thing. Basically, the idea is you have this jazz musician who is, in his way, not unsuccessful. He is an instructor, but he's still waiting for his big break. He wants to be on stage. He wants to play that jazz with the greats on stage. And he finally gets an audition with someone who's sort of an idol of his. And he could have done worse. But just after getting the news that he is going to get a gig with this person, he steps into a manhole.
Dope.
And finds himself in the afterlife. And of course, he doesn't want to be there. He wants to get back. He's not done with life. He wants to go. And he ends up paired with a soul who is kind of the opposite. She's never gone to Earth and doesn't want to. And for this, that, and the other, they do end up there after a fashion. And then, things ensue. It is actually a very entertaining film and has phenomenal music. Just absolutely phenomenal. But it is a little older skewing than some of Pixar's films, which may be why people loved it so much. But we definitely thought a lot of it, as you can tell from the number of awards it's been up for already.
Indeed. And won.
And won. And then, of course, we will be moving on to the big awards, or what generally are thought of as the big awards.
Best Actress.
Best Actress, yes, indeed.
Indeed.
I am here to present the Versus Award for Best Actress. Actresses help carry the film into fruition. They have some of the hardest jobs in the industry, and a great actress can elevate a good film into a masterpiece. The nominees are Carey Mulligan, Promising Young Woman; Otmara Marrero, Clementine; Rosamund Pike, I Care a Lot; Sophia Loren, La Vita davanti a se, or The Life Ahead; Yeri Han, Minari; Vanessa Kirby, Pieces of a Woman. And the award goes to Rosamund Pike, I Care a Lot.
I have to admit, Rosamund Pike did an excellent job with that film. I think it was underrated. Sadly, didn't even get nominated for Best Actress. I think she was on the short list. But sadly, no. So I am surprised that it got in there. I was surprised that it wasn't, the winner of Best Actress for the Oscars. But these awards, you never can tell.
Yeah, we had an interesting, although the ultimate winner, Frances McDormand, of course, didn't even make our six-pack. She was quite excellent in Nomadland, but she was not, I think most of us were in agreement, not on the same level as Rosamund Pike or Carey Mulligan or some of the others. Yeah.
And speaking of acting,
yes,
a movie that actually has 2 of our acting awards, actually 3 because it has Best
3
Actress.
of our nominees.
Nominee, with actress, actor,
supporting actress,
I think supporting actor and actor.
Yep.
So all the acting awards in one, which is Sound of Metal. Now, Sound of Metal is about this individual. He had a drug habit. Music helped him kick the habit. Unfortunately, he's losing his hearing. It also may lead to losing his touch with music. So he ends up being hooked up with this individual to learn how to cope with the hearing loss or just lack of hearing altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And this struggle is masterfully performed by our leads, and the sound is excellent. It deserves that award
Mm-hmm.
for all the various nuances and subtleties that sound can bring.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the sound of metal.
Mm-hmm. Excellent film on Amazon Prime. Waiting for that physical release here.
I'd buy that for $1.
And then one that we haven't even heard the physical release has been announced yet, as far as I know,
Mm-hmm.
is a Netflix film that was also quite excellent and surprisingly entertaining. A courtroom drama called The Trial of the Chicago 7, written and directed by Aaron Sorkin. I believe this was Sorkin's directorial debut, if memory serves. And basically, well, it's about the trial of the Chicago 7, which, if you know a little bit about your 60s counterculture and protest history, what have you, there were a big demonstration outside the Democratic National Convention that got busted, and the people involved were pretty much strung out to dry in what could only be called a kangaroo court. And this film does a really good job of showing this, and just they did a really, it was a very entertaining film that also did a really good job of kind of pissing you off.
Yes.
And excellent use of music, excellent acting, costume design, the production, everything really did a good job of capturing that 60s flair. It was a good solid film. Yeah.
But let's go on to more of that acting prowess.
Indeed.
With Best Actor.
Uh-huh.
Hey guys, Randy Unger again, Unger the Radar, and we are down to the award for Best Actor. Acting, what can you say? It's an art. And personally for me, I've always identified with strong lead actors. This is a person who basically takes the film to new heights, to new levels. And without an actor, without a human being at the center of it all, there's no emotion, there's no action, and it's really not a film. So I just want to go down this list of highly talented, brilliant men for Best Actor. First off, we have Andy Samberg for Palm Springs, Anthony Hopkins for The Father, Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Colin Firth for Supernova, Kingsley Ben-Adir for One Night in Miami, and Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal. And the award goes to the late, great Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. So I host the weekly web series Under the Radar, where I review new and upcoming films in a panel discussion. It's recorded through Zoom and sometimes in person. I also interview notable talent such as various actors, filmmakers, and even composers. And I do feature-length commentaries for beloved films. Basically think Mystery Science Theater 3000, but with a little more of a serious edge, some trivia, some jokes, basically a movie watch party. So that's all on my YouTube channel, Unger the Radar, Unger with a G. So check that out, guys, Unger the Radar.
Congratulations, Chadwick Boseman, on your win for Best Actor. Some may have figured that maybe he was robbed a little bit in the Oscars. Hard to say. Excellent performances by all those inclined. hard to say whether the Swan Song really was the point or whether his performance really did push him over the top. But a fond farewell to him.
Oh yeah, and I do think it was a solid performance.
Yes.
Personally, I would have picked Sound of Metal's Riz Ahmed as the best performance of the year, but I like seeing Boseman get that little shout out, and I'm very hopeful that Ahmed has a great deal of a career ahead
I'm
of him.
sure there'll be more.
I'm hoping he does.
I'm actually hoping next year for the Mauritanian to have a good center spot on this award.
Right.
But we'll see how it goes.
And thanks again as well to Randy Unger for his assistance, and he did a good job with these presentations. And we look forward to working again with everyone that's joined us tonight. I know we have one person who still has a presentation left to go, but everyone else, we'll go ahead and say thanks for the assistance, and let's talk about our last two contenders.
More to go.
Yes.
So let's talk Violet. One that's been very much hyped up by our very own David Streggy. Violet is, of course, one of those low-budget films that is kind of a spit-on-your-grave type film. Individual, kind of a lot like also Promising Young Woman. Some vibes that are similar to these. Young woman had a terrible incident of sexual violence many years ago, and she's getting her revenge on those that portrayed it.
Well, in this case, it wasn't many years ago. It was more like
a little while ago, but still, you know.
Yeah.
Social media withstanding a very heavy presence in the film. I did like how they performed it, how they executed it. I'm not sure, but I do feel like it's at least equal with Psycho Ape in its quality and performances. Very amazing film. Worth your time. If you can find it, it'll be worth checking out.
Unfortunately, that if you can find it stinger also applies to our last one.
Needs a physical.
Because this one streamed on Apple Plus. But I am speaking, of course, of the wonderful film from Irish maestro Tom Moore, and film called Wolf Walkers, our fourth animated feature up this year. And Wolf Walkers basically centers on a small village where the Lord Protector is trying very, very hard, basically, to put nature in her place, as these people did back in the day.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Yeah, as people still want to do nowadays. It's so stupid. And basically, this hunter is hired by the Lord Protector to eliminate the wolves from the surrounding woodlands. And his little girl looks up to her old man and thinks he's just wonderful and everything. Until, and she still does, you know, but she ends up having an encounter with a strange girl who is known as a wolf walker, who is basically one with the wolves, if you will. And the two of them strike up a pretty charming friendship. And this girl starts to wonder if maybe her dad's way of looking at things is not really the way he ought to be looking at things. And things go from there. And this is actually kind of like Soul is sort of a, if you will, like a graduation, a maturing of Pixar's work. I feel like it's this way with Tom Moore too, because Secret of Kells was a wonderful film, but it was pretty much a kid's film. Like it really was. Song of the Sea aimed a little higher. Wolfwalkers was even more dark and mature, I think, than Song of the Sea was. They're all excellent films. Very, very distinctive visual style. Beautiful in their kind of rough, almost woodcut look. And, of course, the music by Bruno Calais. I mean, just phenomenal.
And those voice acting was amazing. We
this
actually, and it's up for 4 voice acting awards. Didn't win any of them, but hey.
It was up for them.
It was up for them.
All right, now we're going to mosey on into our last guest presentation from Dane, who will be giving us Best Director.
Best Director.
My name is Dane Kyle. I am an independent filmmaker out of Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm featured on a weekly podcast called Inside Movies Galore, and I am in the process of finishing up my new web series, Oztober, in which I will be reviewing a new Oz-related film or TV adaptation and posting a new review each day in October. Stay tuned for that. The channel is Dangerous Arts. I am here to present the Versus Award for Best Director. The director is considered the auteur of the film. He or she brings together all the best elements of all the various departments, lighting, sound, the acting, the editing, to bring the finished film into fruition. He or she takes the audience on a journey, and at the end of it, we are all transformed. And now the nominees are Chloe Zhao for Nomadland, Darius Martyr, Sound of Metal, Evan Jacobs, Cool Summer, Kirsten Johnson, Dick Johnson is Dead, Laura Gallagher, Clementine, Pete Docter and Kemp Powers, Soul. And the award goes to Evan Jacobs for Cool Summer.
I would like to humbly thank the Versus Awards for granting me the Best Director Award for Cool Summer. That film is, all my animated movies they're very personal. That one even more so, because I was drawing on events that were sort of post 1985, 1986, and that is, I believe, you're in middle school, such a growing time, and I gotta thank the actors, and I'm gonna leave some people out just because I am, but I'd like to thank Popeye Vogelsang, who he voices Jerry, he voices Brian. So, and he voices both of them at the same time. So I sort of have to edit them and make the conversations coherent. And he just does a fantastic job. I'd like to thank Angelique Flores. I would like to thank Carolyn Giardini. I would like to thank Carlos Ortega and Dave Erickson, my neighbor. Every filmmaking, even though I do work with very small crews, and especially with animation, it's literally, once I get the voices, it's me and the animation program and the voices. Everything is collaborative in some way, and Cool Summer is just one of those movies that is it, for some reason with animation, I'm really able to make the films that as I envision them in my head, and believe it or not, and to get this award from the Versus Awards is just, I am honored. It's something I can put, like I was saying, on the DVD box. It's something I can talk about and say, and it actually possibly is coming to Tubi TV. So that's something that will also, I actually need to tell the distributor about this award too. Also, I need to thank Count Catastrophic. Without his music, he did the lion's share of the music for this, and the soundtrack is available to stream now on Spotify. That music really makes this film. So honestly, he deserves at least 70 to 80% of the credit for why I'm getting this. It's because of that music. And then Sean Miller, who's given me a lot of music also. Once again, going back to the collaboration. And I'm just humbled, just because, I make these movies and I never think about awards. It's just not something that I think about. More or less, I'm thinking, how can I get people to see this? And now, because of the Versus Awards, it opens up just more doors and more avenues, and hopefully more people can see the film, and hopefully more people enjoy the film. And I am, as I said, greatly humbled. Thank you very, very much to everybody at the Versus Awards for this honor.
Well, thank you to Mr. Evan Jacobs for doing an acceptance speech.
Yes.
We hope to have more acceptance speeches in the future as time goes by. With luck, if we get more and more popular, we might actually get some of these people to do acceptance speeches, and that would be a wonderful thing. Who knows? what the future will bring.
Yes, definitely. Not just the acceptance speech, but a thank you to Mr. Jacobs for taking the time to present
Yes.
some awards. And actually, a lot of the people who joined us tonight are involved in filmmaking in some way, shape, or form. And a lot of them, as well as some of us who are not involved in filmmaking, do have pretty busy schedules. And we appreciate the time.
Yes.
And we look forward to even more participation in the future. And it was good times.
But we have one more award to present.
Yes, the big one.
The Best Picture Award.
Mm-hmm.
So, our pick for Best Picture.
Should we run down the list again?
Of 2020.
Yes.
From our list
Mm-hmm.
of the nominees, The Five Bloods, The Father, The Last Blockbuster, Made in Abyss, Fukaki Tamashi no Reme, or Made in Abyss Dawn of the Deep Soul. Of course, I mess up on the English. Mank, Onward,
Psycho Ape, Soul,
Sound of Music,
Sound of Metal, damn it.
Metal. The Sound of Music did win.
Trial of the Chicago 7, Violet, and The Wolfwalkers.
And the winner is
Soul.
All right, we have quite a congratulatory celebration here. Thank you, Soul, for your wonderful participation in this award. You know what? I'm tired. You tired?
Yeah.
Okay, bring the fireball. Let's get out of this stuff. Let's go home.